Hi, welcome to another tutorial here on LemonSquid. We're going to create something that looks like this. You've probably seen it in the preview at the start of this video. We're going to create some sort of galaxy. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by creating a new composition we can work in. I'm going to rename this to the galaxy tutorial. The width and height are 1920 by 1080. The frame rate will be 30. I'm going to make it 10 seconds long. And press OK. We're going to start off by creating a new camera. Here we go. And I'm going to rename this one to just camera, not camera 1. We're also going to make a camera controller. What this does, it's a null layer. And basically it controls the camera. So I'm also going to rename this to the camera controller. You can quickly rename a layer by selecting it and pressing enter on your keyboard. Once you have that, you can select it, press P on your keyboard, and actually separate the dimensions. And I've already forgotten something here because we want to make this a 3D layer. There we go. So now what we did is we separated the X, the Y, and Z position from one layer to 3, or one controllable layer to 3. And now all we have to do is make the camera controller the parent of the camera. So we can do this here under parent and link. We can select none and select 1 on the camera. So now the camera controller controls all the settings on the camera. First, we're going to start off by creating a background for the galaxy. So we're going to make a new solid. We're going to call this galaxy background, BG for short. Make sure the width and the height are the same as your composition, and the color doesn't really matter. There we go. Go to drag this under the camera. Go to effects presets, and I'm going to look up gradient ramp. We're going to apply the gradient ramp onto the galaxy background. First off, I'm going to start by making this a radial ramp instead of a linear ramp. And I'm going to put this one in the middle. I'm going to drag the end of it all the way to the right so it creates a really smooth transition in colors. I'm going to make the start of the galaxy a really dark blue. It's almost not visible that it's blue. And the end of the color will also be blue, but a tiny bit lighter. So we have a really dark flow in colors here, from really dark blue to a little bit lighter dark blue. Next up, we're going to create the galaxy layer. We're going to create a new solid. We're going to call it galaxy. For this one, the color is really important. Make sure it is black. So we'll filter out the black color on the background to match the galaxy background layer. There we go. Drag it just above the background layer and make it a 3D layer. There we go. We're going to apply motion bullet looks to it. And there we go. And press edit. Once your motion bullet looks is loaded in, I'm going to make this one fit the size of my screen real quick. We're going to lens. We're going to add a swing tilt. What we're going to do is we're going to make it a tiny bit, have a tiny swing in it. There we go. Make this a bit above the middle there. Make the blur size 2.75 and make the quality 6. Now we're going to go to camera. We're going to apply curves. We're going to adjust these settings right here. We're going to make the first one 1.340. We're going to adjust the third one to 0.240. So now we have a bit of an S shape. Once you've made this, you can press the check mark down here to save your settings. And we're going to apply the noise effect. It's under noise and grain. We're going to set this one to 3% and make sure the used color noise is unchecked. Now I'm going to add glow highlights. It is a Red Giant Universe plugin. and it is available on our site, so you can look it up there and download it if you don't have it already. Apply it to your layer, set the pre-blur to 0.40, radius to 70, contrast to 0.5, and the glow mix to 40. Now we're going to add night sky. This is a Sapphire, this is from the Sapphire plugin, so you'll need that. It is also available on our website if you don't have it downloaded already. Drag it onto your layer. We're just going to minimize all of these, the looks, the noise, and the glow highlights, to have full focus on the night sky layer. We're going to start by changing the star size to 16 and the star brightness to 1.670. The field of view is a really important setting to change here to 142. As you can see, it'll expand the field of view over a galaxy right there. We're going to change the magnitude limit to 8.9. You can edit the glare a tiny bit. I like to change the relative height to about 1.5, then the size up to 70. Maybe change this one even lower, so you have like tiny dots of lighting there. Once you've done that, you can basically minimize the night sky settings, and we're going to apply motion tile. Change the output width and height both to 400, and make sure you have mirror edges enabled. Add optics compensation and change it to 116, and make sure the reverse lens distortion is enabled. So what this does, it creates a bit of a fisheye effect onto your layer and basically pulls the corners of your layers towards the camera. Creates this really cool depth effect. What we're going to do next is we're going to go here and right click, press new adjustment layer, and we're going to rename this one to looks, as we're going to put the motion bullet looks on this one again. We're going to change some color settings. Once you've dragged it on there, press edit. Once it is loaded in, go to subject, go to tools, and press pop. What you want to do is change the pop to 25% and the size as well, so you'll get both on 25%. Then we're going to subject as well, and we're going to add curves. We're just going to change the last one to minus 0.420. Make sure it's minus, not plus. Then we're going to add contrast also to the subject. I'm going to change this one to 0.350 and the pivot to 0.100. And we're going to change the exposure to 0.5. We're going to matte and we're going to add diffusion. What this does, it will basically create some sort of glow on our layer. We're going to change the size to 55% and the glow to 100. As for the highlights only as well. Highlight bias, we will put that one on 1, and the exposure compensation -1. As for the RGB, we'll leave the R at 1, we'll change the G to 0.893, there we go, and we're going to change the blue one to 0.841. Then we're going to lens vignette, and we're going to change the vignette to 40%. We'll change the amount to 100. We're going to change the edge softness as well. If you like this look, you can leave it as is, but I recommend you changing it if you want the exact result as in the preview. So we're going to change the blur size to 1, the quality to 10, and we're going to up the radius to 1.032, and it creates a slight difference in focus, so it kind of looks like a depth of field. Then we're going to camera, we're going to add curves. We're going to change the first one to plus 0.9, the next one to 0.430, and the third one to minus 0.090. We're also going to add the warm-cool effect. And this one you can kind of play around with, but I don't recommend changing it too much. Put this one on minus 0.05. Then we're going to post. We're going to add the colorista. We're going to change the shadows a tiny bit to the blue. The midtones, the same type. And the highlights, you can put that one to red a tiny bit. Next we're going to add the HSL colors, and we're going to only change the saturation. You can follow my lead. The first one we'll put on 20%, we'll skip one, we'll put this one on 20% as well. As for the fourth one, we'll skip one and put this one on 20%. That is it. Press the check mark here to save your settings. We're going to add noise. This noise is entirely up to your preference. I usually like a bit of noise on my layer to fill empty spaces up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this one on 5% and I'm going to uncheck the use color noise. Next up we're going to add more glow highlights. I'm going to change the radius to 70, the contrast to 0.5, and the glow mix to 80. As you can see, this kind of already looks like the clip we had at the beginning, the preview, but we're missing one element, and that's because the color isn't entirely blue yet. It is not really a blue galaxy. So we can change that by adding an ambient light, which we will do now. So by creating a new light layer, I'm just going to call this ambient light. Make sure the light type is on ambient. The color, you can make this whatever you want. If you're going for a very blue galaxy, you can make this the same color as this one. Or if you want to go for a red one, you can change this to red. But I prefer the blue galaxy. Change the intensity to 150% and press OK. As you can see, the galaxy is already blue now. You can still play around with the color settings afterwards by double clicking the ambient light layer and here pressing the colors. As you can see, it'll immediately update if you have preview checked here. So you can also see what happens if you make it a red galaxy, or even more red, very dark red. But I prefer the lighter colors and we'll go for a light blue. We can also create a very cool zoom by going to the camera controller and pressing P on our keyboard. I'm going to make this one minus 600. And as you can see, the optics compensation is in full effect here. We can keyframe it, go to the end of our clip, and I'm going to make this one minus 300. This will create a really cool effect. As you can see, it will slowly zoom in into our galaxy. Hello, this is me from the future while editing this clip. I just noticed that I forgot to actually make the galaxy an add, or like change the blending mode to add. You can do this by toggle the switches here and then go to mode and change the galaxy one to add. What this will do, it'll take the ramp we made on the background and show it through the galaxy, so it'll make it a little bit more blue. Okay, back to the video. And that is how you make a simple galaxy with the night sky plugin, or the night sky effect from Sapphire. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you would like to see more tutorials on LemonSquid, please let us know in the comments and what we should make, and I'll see you next time.